This video is sponsored by Blair's Wire Bonsai Trees. For unique and personalized pieces of beauty and artwork, check out the link in the description and use coupon code BeastlyGamer for 10% off your order. What's going on, guys? Beastly Gamer here. Welcome to the Beastly Gamer channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about Xbox One and how Microsoft has decided Xbox will report its numbers differently going forward. Now, Sony has been reporting its numbers at a fairly regular basis. They've been letting people know, the consumer know, how many PlayStation 4s have been sold since launch, how many have been shipped since launch, giving the consumer and basically giving the world a clear image of how well the PlayStation 4 has been selling. Now, on the other side of that coin, Microsoft's Xbox One hasn't sold nearly as well as PlayStation 4, even though the Xbox One is selling phenomenally well. And so with the information that has been revealed by Sony, Microsoft has been less apt to show the numbers of how far the Xbox One has gone. Usually, it takes a few more months for Microsoft to release those numbers. They tried to be slick initially and just released the numbers of how many consoles were shipped compared to how many consoles were actually sold on PlayStation 4. And people kind of saw through that. And it's a really precarious situation, a really tough place to be in when you're doing much better this generation than you were last generation, but your console competition is doing twice what you're doing now. It's hard to look good in a situation like that. But I think Microsoft has found a way to possibly look better in the eyes of the consumer, to actually boost morale for Xbox One gamers by not reporting the actual numbers of how many consoles they've sold. Instead, Microsoft has decided to opt out of that totally and start reporting the number of Xbox Live accounts that have been active in the last 30 days. So instead of Microsoft saying we've sold 14 or 15 million Xbox Ones in the last 2 years, they're going to go a different direction and say we've had 38 or 39 million Xbox Live accounts active on Xbox One in the last month. So when you hear those numbers, the Xbox One doesn't look nearly as bad as if it would if they actually announced their console sales versus the PlayStation 4's console sales. And honestly, I think it sounds a lot better. If Sony were to come out and say, we've sold 28 million PlayStation 4s, and Microsoft only says, well, we sold 14 million, that really makes Microsoft look like they took a L. Just be honest. It makes Microsoft look like they're fighting an unwinnable war. But in the eyes of gamers and people who are still on the fence of buying a game or buying a game console, if they hear Sony say we sold 28 million PlayStation 4s, and then they hear Microsoft come out and say we had 40 million Xbox Live accounts active in the last month, it does sound better, especially to people who don't understand exactly what that means. What it means is one Xbox One can have 5-10 accounts on it. My Xbox One has 4 accounts on it. All 4 have been active in the last month. So instead of counting my console sales, they count 4 active Xbox Live accounts, which does make it look a little bit better. Is it a little shady? Yeah. Do they really have a choice? I don't think so. I think Microsoft is being driven back into a corner, and they've got to do something to boost morale and make people believe in their console. Do they have great product? Yes, they do. The Xbox One's a great system. Do they have great games? Hell yeah. They got awesome games, especially at the end of this year. Everybody's excited, including me, of the exclusives that are going to be released for the Xbox One. Did they have the sales? Yes. But are they beating PlayStation? No. So they've got to do something, especially with PlayStation's new price drop. They dropped it from $400 to $350. It's going to be even harder for Xbox One to keep that momentum that they've built going. Because to be honest, for the last 2 years, or at least for the last year, the PlayStation 4 has been more expensive than the Xbox One. But for every month except 1 month this year, the PlayStation 4 still outsold the Xbox One. Now they're the same price. It's going to be even harder. So Microsoft, they've got to figure out ways around this. They've got to stay in the race. And I want them to stay in the race. Because if they give up and say, so if they could concede and say Sony won, then they won't try as hard anymore. And it'll become a market that's owned by Sony. And that's good for nobody. We need to have the big 3 back. We need to have all 3 going strong. And I'm rooting for Microsoft to boost morale and get people excited about the Xbox One. You guys, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. If you did, leave a thumbs up and show support of the channel. Also leave a comment about this story. Let me know what you guys think about it. What can Microsoft do? What can they do to turn this around? Is there anything they can do? I believe there's always a way. I honestly do. I'm the Beastly Gamer, and I'll see you guys next time.